Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all having a fabulous start to your day. Today's Q&A, we are going to discuss snacks, hunger, cravings, not being hungry. Do you work out when you are sick? And last but not least, a little bit of information on digestive enzymes. So we are going to dive right in, get started with snack recommendations. So I had someone reach out and say, I struggle with snacks. So when it comes to snacks, you want to always prioritize protein. And of course, pair that protein with either a carb source or a fat, or both, to be honest with you. I personally don't snack a whole lot. I used to graze all day, eat as little as possible, but I was always friggin' hungry. So I recently, in the last year, I would say, have switched to eating just way larger meals. And my energy is way better. I'm not obsessing about food. I'm not dealing with cravings. I'm not dealing with hunger. So that's just a little forethought for you, that if you feel like you are just always hungry, looking for snacks, I would suggest you eat a lot more in your main meals, because it's going to be such a game changer when it comes to regulating your blood sugar, mood, energy, cravings, so on and so forth. But there's nothing wrong with eating snacks. And some of my favorites are Greek yogurt or skyr. We eat skyr at our house. It's very similar. I find it's creamier. I love it a lot more. But skyr with berries, I'll add a little bit of protein powder to kind of flavor it up a little bit, because we know plain Greek yogurt or skyr can kind of taste a little bit like sour cream. And then I will, add fruit of choice. Sometimes I'll dip apples, sometimes I'll add frozen fruit, sometimes I'll add fresh fruit. I'll sometimes add chia seeds or flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. I'll sometimes put my Brazil nuts in there as well, or different nuts. So that is a balanced snack option with protein, carbs, and fats. Tuna, little cans of tuna. I forget the brand name. Is it Cloverleaf? But there's like lemon dill, which is one of my favorites. Sun-dried tomato. There's a few other ones. There's a spicy one with chili peppers, I believe. But that and rice crackers, one of my go-tos. Cottage cheese. I don't love the texture of cottage cheese, but I love it blended. It tastes just like a cheesecake to me. Well, I blend it with vanilla protein powder. And I will often crumble a Graham wafer square in there. And then sometimes if I have jam, I will put a little bit of jam in there, or else regular fruit. And to me, that is almost like it's a dessert ultimately, because I do have a sweet tooth. But of course you can have savory cottage cheese with some pepper. I like putting pepper and salt on mine. With cucumbers, I think is delicious. You can also put that on crackers of choice. I love Mary's crackers. I tend to eat gluten-free majority of the time, so I stick with gluten-free or rice crackers. Protein balls can be fantastic. Just like rolled oats, protein powder, nut butter, a little bit of chocolate chips in there, maybe some maple syrup or honey. The only thing with those is that like the calories add up really freaking quickly, especially if you're adding nut butter, super high in fat. And then if you're adding honey and or maple syrup, that's going to, of course, increase the carb content and sugar content. They are delicious, but servings of protein balls are typically just like 1 or 2. Protein shakes are also a fantastic option to have as well, but individual ingredients, I've got a list here. So turkey, pepperoni, jerky, natural selections, deli meat. It's not my favorite thing because I do love to eat predominantly whole food based, but if you are in a pinch, deli meat is fantastic. You're getting protein in there as well, and Natural Selections is my go-to. Hard-boiled eggs are great. Edamame beans are great. Go beans, I've shared it on my stories a couple times. They are roasted edamame beans. There's several different flavors: ranch, sriracha, salt and vinegar, dill pickle, plain, nacho. There might be a few more, but I've been adding them to a lot of my meals just for some extra crunch. And then of course they are like just a really, really good option to have in your gym bag, in your purse, to keep in your car when you're on the go, because I believe one bag has 11 grams of protein in it, which is great. I also will have protein bars once in a while. So Darryl bars, they're not like the best tasting, I'm gonna be completely honest, but ingredients are fairly good. This one has 20 grams of protein. Love RX bars, which have all natural ingredients. I think it's like 3 to 5 ingredients in RX bars. Not super high protein, but a lot of times I am okay under eating protein in protein bars if the ingredients are better. I also love, drawing a blank here, Lara bars are great. Do I have my other bag? I don't even know if I have them handy. Let's see. My coffee shop bag. Ooh, I do have. Yes, love these Hornby bars. So good. The ingredients are fantastic. They taste really good. There's so many flavors. This is carob peanut butter, but there's like an espresso one. There's another, there's a chocolate one. There's so many. There's a pumpkin one that's really good as well. And these are, if you've been following closely, I bought a couple of these bars a few weeks ago and I had one on Sunday. It did not agree with me. So these, I love it because it says, 18 grams of protein. It's gluten-free. And of course I just quickly bought it, but it has whey protein. I cannot do whey protein. I have realized that after having this, it just, bloating, gas goes right through me. It is not fun, but ingredients are okay. It does have a lot of organic ingredients. Does it have any added seed oils? Not that I can see. So if you can tolerate whey protein powder, this would be a good option, and they are G2G protein bars. I found this at a specialty grocery store. Swiss cheese can be a good option. Even cheese strings could be an option. Like, these are not things I would want you to eat every single day. Again, we want to try to eat as like few processed foods as possible, but sometimes we're in a pinch and that's the only option. And guess what? That is okay. I've also got protein mug cakes on my list. Protein fluff, which is simply frozen fruit with a scoop of protein powder, and I've like 2 cups of frozen fruit. Berries is my go-to, with a scoop of protein powder and a 1/4 cup of almond milk. You'll blend it up into almost like a ice cream consistency, and then you can either use your like stand mixer or a hand mixer, and mix it for about 3 to 5 minutes, and it turns into this like magical, delicious fluff. And it is so filling and very good. And then you could make even protein popsicles at this time of year with Greek yogurt, berries, kind of similar to the protein fluff without blending it excessively. But you could make your own concoction with Greek yogurt and protein powder if you'd like, and put it in popsicle molds, and voila, you've got yourself some healthy snacks. So hopefully that's helpful. If any of you have any other suggestions or any other snacks that you prefer, feel free to share them in the comments below. All right, let's move on. I am very hungry and craving a lot of carbs lately. Any tips? So if you are craving carbs, I would say right away, we increase your protein. The more carbs you eat, the more you'll likely crave. And I'm talking specifically things with a lot of sugar. Baked goods, if you are eating like potatoes, it's very hard to overeat potatoes in my opinion. Sweet potatoes, oats, fruit, like I think that those are all fantastic options. But if you find yourself eating a lot of carbs or wanting to eat a lot of carbs, likely has to do with the fact that you are under eating protein and you've got blood sugar imbalances. So eating for blood sugar balance is so important. I feel a little bit like a broken record talking about this, but it's probably because I'm having so many individual conversations about blood sugar balance. But making sure you're eating fiber and protein first, and then eating your carbs. Your fat is, part of your protein too, but eating your vegetables and your proteins first, and then having your carb sources or your dessert or something sweeter makes such a big difference. We can go a few steps further and say having like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before your meals helps tremendously with balancing blood sugar levels, preventing cravings, and it does help with digestion as well. Helps to stimulate HCl, stomach acid, which helps to break down food and is super important for absorption as well. And then moving after your meals, rather than just plunking down, I'm standing right now, but rather than just sitting right after your meals, some type of movement. Typically, I'll say like a 10 to 15 minute walk. I know that that's not feasible for everybody, but even 5 minutes, ladies, 5 minutes. If you can do like some air squats or some reverse lunges or go up and down a few sets of stairs. This morning, I ate my breakfast and then I cleaned up the kitchen. I put some dishes away. That was my movement because I had already gone for my walk this morning, and that helps a lot. So those are my tips for you if you're craving a lot of carbs. Now, dealing with hunger. There's a lot of us, me included, who are in a calorie deficit right now. And hunger between meals is completely normal. And hunger's not a bad thing. As soon as we get uncomfortable and we get hungry, we're like, oh my gosh, like I need to eat something. You do not have to eat something right away. You're not going to perish, your metabolism's not going to slow down. You're going to be eating in probably the next 2 hours, 1 hour. You can get through that. You absolutely can. Part of being in a calorie deficit is dealing with a little bit of hunger. If you are hungry like immediately after eating, then that's a different conversation. But drinking a lot of tea, drinking a lot of water in between meals. I like to sip on please. Anything that doesn't have artificial sweeteners, you want to try to stay away from artificial sweeteners just because it does impact blood sugar. Not here. Sorry, ladies. Hopefully you're still with me here. Issues with the internet. What else was I going to say? Artificial sweeteners. Oh, and it's gut disrupting. It's eventually, if you have a lot of artificial sweeteners, if you've been somebody like me who ate sugar-free everything when there was like a craze, then that can lead to some inflammation, some sensitivities to certain foods. And it's not the food that's the problem. It's your gut that's the problem, unfortunately. So there is ways to, of course, heal and seal your gut, but that's a topic for another day. Another thing too, at the end of the night, if I am hungry, of course I track my food. Just pressing like finish tracking for the day, like on the app, like that signals, okay, I'm done eating. And I do go to bed fairly early. I don't stay up. That's another big thing that helps me. Brushing your teeth can help to signal that you are ultimately done eating. But if we're talking hunger in between meals, I would just ensure that you are hydrating, and it's a mindset thing. You will get to eat again, right? We are blessed to have an abundance of food, probably too many options. And so we're so used to, at every street corner, there's commercials or this, we might not even be hungry, but it's just, we're deeply influenced on social media. People just talking about food constantly, just having it so accessible to us. And I'm thinking, like, even my phone, and I have to turn this off, but I get messages from, I don't even use it, not Skip the Dishes, but there's another app, and I get like messages, like usually around 6 p.m. It's like, order your food, order pizza. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, really? I need to turn it off. But anyways, that's just a signaling that, you know, oh, these people are hungry. This is how we're going to make money, right? So anywho, I digress. Next question. If I have a cold, should I work out? So this depends. It depends on the individual. It depends how you feel. It depends how sick you ultimately are. If you have a head cold, if you are just stuffed up, maybe a little bit of a sore throat, but physically you kind of feel okay, I would still work out. If I am like super achy and exhausted and I've slept like shit and I was up coughing all night, then I wouldn't work out. I often work. But again, it's so individual. Listen to your body. When you're sick, it is a stressor. Exercise is also a stressor. So the last thing you want to do is exhaust your body and have to work harder to repair your muscles and also rid of whatever infection or sickness that has taken over. Get outside though. Go for a walk, go for a short walk, even if it's around the block. Get some sunlight, get some fresh air. That is therapeutic. Focus on hydration and focus on your food. Focus on the things that are, of course, within your control. I'll often hear, oh, I'm just not hungry while I'm sick, and I totally get that. Smoothies are my go-to, especially with getting in protein. I don't know what it is about being sick, but protein is never like appealing. And so I will recommend to my clients, like, drink your smoothies, and then you can put spinach in there, you can put whatever fruits that you want. You could even blend some vegetables in there as well if you are a little adventurous. And it's so much easier on the digestive tract. You can kind of sip it over an hour. You don't have to force yourself to chew because that takes energy as well. And it's a lot easier on your digestive tract. Where else am I? So cold, deal with hunger. Now we're switching gears with I'm not as hungry in the summer. Any tips? And today is supposed to be freaking hot here and I'm so excited. I think we're hitting like 31 degrees. But appetites do tend to decrease when it's warm out. If you are not as hungry, drink smoothies just to get those calories in, get that nutrition in. I eat a lot of fruit in the summer. I just find it refreshing. You're getting that fiber, you're getting tons of antioxidants. It's easier to eat than something like potatoes, bread, rice, oats, that sort of thing. So you'll notice my breakfasts, if I do share them, which I sometimes do, I'm eating just a lot of fruit. Typically it's potatoes, but I'm just finding myself like I cannot stomach potatoes. I'm eating a lot of quinoa because it has protein in it and I just find it lighter than rice or potatoes, bread, oats, and that sort of thing. So hopefully that's helpful. If anybody else has tips on what I'm talking about too, or what works for you, feel free to share. Last but not least, my digestive enzymes showed up. Is there a certain amount of time I should be taking it before eating? So digestive enzymes, I will always suggest to somebody who does not have a gallbladder. If you do not have a gallbladder, that is a very integral part of digestion. And so digestive enzymes typically have something called ox bile in them. And I'm saying this just because this specific client does not have a gallbladder. And unfortunately, Western medicine doesn't educate patients very much on the importance of the gallbladder. It is imperative for fat digestion, so you need to supplement for the rest of your life with ox bile or some type of digestive enzyme. Now, if you do struggle with digestion, and I don't suggest digestive enzymes for absolutely everybody, because if you have stomach ulcers, if you have something called H. pylori, you don't necessarily want to be taking digestive enzymes. So if you have known ulcers, then you want to err on the side of what am I saying here? You do not want to blindly take digestive enzymes, because it can actually make things worse. However, if you do have sluggish digestion, if you have a lot of bloating and like lower stomach bloating, and I say lower stomach, our stomach sits up here, but lower abdominal is what I meant. So this is where like your intestines are, small intestines. If you maybe you have SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, digestive enzymes can help to break down food, especially if you're dealing with gas and bloating. That's typically like fermentation that's happening due to low stomach acid and just low motility. Things are just not digesting properly, they're not breaking down properly. And so digestive enzymes can be super helpful to break down food. But to answer the question, is there a certain amount of time I should be taking it before eating? Typically, right before, during, or right after. It really doesn't matter. The best, they say, or the experts say, like in the middle of your meal. I don't remember to take my supplements in the middle of my meal. It will either be like right before or right after I eat. That's what I personally do. It's not like your food is just going to like exit your stomach right away, right? So right before, a few minutes before, during, or after, like not, an hour later, but within 10 to 15 minutes, I would say, is best to make sure that those digestive enzymes are doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, that's it for today. Let me know if you've got questions. Have a good one.